Welcome everybody to another edition of TEW 2020 as we're continuing WCW 2001 as we're on the road to Fall Brawl as things are shaping up. We have a War Games match announced, even though the competitors aren't all, 100% sure. We've got Eddie Guerrero still having Imperio's world title. We've got other things still going on, so let's get rolling. So we start with our pre-show women's tag match. As an abysmal pre-show match, Celine Cartier and Jordan Cole defeat Amber O'Neal and Lacey up from developmental in 9 when Celine Cartier pinned Lacey. So Cole gets a 50, Celine Cartier gets a 51, Lacey gets a 37, and Amber O'Neal gets a 48. This gets a 52, straight up, women, give them a win, and also just advance them a little bit and get them some in-ring time on Nitro, even though it's on the pre-show. But still, can't be that unhappy, as we got 10,000 people at the Don Barnett Arena in beautiful Rapid City, South Dakota. So basically, we start out with Eric Bischoff opening the show. Welcome everybody, and he says he has a big announcement for tonight, but Eddie Guerrero interrupts and says, I think you're keeping a grudge against me because I punched you in the mouth. And Eric Bischoff says, no, I deserve that. At least you think I deserve that, so I'm not going to be an asshole about it. But the reality is, Eddie, you've done a lot. But you've done a lot in other places. But you are a great competitor. So what we're going to do is, at Fall Brawl, we already have the War Games match. The Deadpool have their 4. Booker and Goldberg have to find 2 partners. But it's going to be a little harder for them because at Fall Brawl, RVD and Canyon are also 2 great competitors, but they just fought a 30-minute draw. So those 2 guys, you, and a 4th man will fight in a Fatal Four Way match to determine who will get the world title shot at Halloween Havoc. But how do we determine that 4th man? After all, there's lots of people who could say they deserve that shot. Men like Sean O'Hare, Jeff Hardy, Mike Awesome, Billy Kidman, Cheers and Booze, etc. Ric Flair, But what we're going to have is a 15-man gauntlet match. 2 men start, another man enters every minute, and whoever walks out as the last guy standing, and joins you guys in that match. Eddie's like, that's fine with me. It doesn't matter who you put in that ring against me. I'm going to walk out the winner, and at Halloween Havoc, I'm going to become world champion whether you like it or not, Eric. Bischoff's like, I don't care, I just want somebody who will defend WCW, and you'll defend WCW, brother, man. So no hard feelings, really. And Eric Bischoff has that cheesy fake smile of his, which goes on. So this gets an 81. Let me see why this didn't go over. Okay, poor gimmick. So yeah, might be time to shift Eddie's gimmick just to stop getting these downwards, but we'll figure it out. Anyway, this gets an 81. And yeah, sets up, so actually that sets up 2 things. Well, we can't officially preset it up until the end of the show, but so then we have a Gail Kim promo where she's basically, saying that, she's a Blue Chip prospect, she's the best pure women's wrestler in this company, but she's not getting a shot because of who she is. And then Angel Foxx interrupts her, says, Gail, tell me the truth, what have you actually done in WCW? You've done a lot of whining, you've done complaining, but you haven't done a lot of wrestling out there. So, why don't you, I'm not busy tonight. Gail, makes it look like a joke. Don't even try with that. Angel's like, but if you want to fight, I'll fight you, non-title. And if you win, you can join the match versus Lexi at Fall Brawl. Because I talked to Bischoff and she's given her a title shot. But I have the champions, so I got my own weighing in on things, and if you beat me, you're happy to join the match. Otherwise, you'll just need to shut up and stop whining. And Gail Kim just sort of looks at her with a bitchy look, and there you go. 62, fairly solid promo. Then, again, this is a very 1998 era Nitro where everything starts backstage, and probably people in the ring aren't that happy, but they got 1 match in the pre-show, so they shouldn't be that unhappy. But this is Nitro. Look at all these stars. So we got the Horseman backstage, Canyon, Flair, Jarrett, Douglas. Jarrett puts over the fact that he's facing AJ Styles later tonight, and he's going to prove that little punk that he should have kept on wrestling in front of 100 yokels in Georgia instead of stepping up to the big leagues. Canyon talks about how it's still a conspiracy that he has to win a match instead of just be given a world title shot, and Flair is getting ready because he's in the gauntlet later tonight. 94, fairly straightforward. Everybody hits their spots, and there you go. And then Mike a quick Mike Awesome promo backstage where he says basically Lance Storm will get his response whether there's going to be a match against each other at Fall Brawl tonight in the Gauntlet. 65, straightforward promo, and finally we have a match. Oh no, okay. Have I really gone that far? Hold up. So yeah, this is just like basically like the camera going into the various locker rooms. So the babyface is backstage, RVD says, bros, I want to fight against you, but, I got that chance at the world title. I got to do what I got to do. Eddie comes in and, like, Booker and Goldberg says, essays, I'm not going to give it what's belongs to me. And nothing personal, Rob, but at the end of Fall Brawl, it's going to be me standing tall, not you. And there's a little face-off before they shake hands, and Eddie walks away. And then, who comes in but Jason Jett and Paul London? They're like, look, I understand you might want to try other people, but let's be honest here. They're all a little busy. Sting's getting a U.S. title shot. Like you just saw, Eddie and Rob Van Dam are in that 4-way. A-Raid are still the tag champs. So if you want somebody who's willing to fight the Deadpool in that cage, we're your best shot. And Booker and Goldberg sort of say, okay, but you got to prove yourself tonight. There was going to be a match against Vampire and Morningstar, but we're going to push sending you guys out instead. And they make an agreement, and there we go. 86, fairly strong promo from everybody. Jet and London probably bring it down from like a mid-90s, but still, stalled stuff, sets up sort of like the RVD Eddie tension, the Eddie not wanting to fight the Deadpool, wanting the world title tension, and Jet and London coming in as sort of the saviors. And that can officially set up the Fall Brawl match. So we'll pre-book that. Let's see here. So it's going to be Vampiro, Macias, Morningstar, Lestat versus Jason Jett, Paul London, Booker T, and Bill Goldberg. Oh, come on. You know it's going to go at least 20 minutes. So start whining. Oh my god. Oh, okay. Good news is I don't even need to worry about it. Okay, so maybe this. Oh my god. Quit whining. See, this is what happens when you have upset stars. So. Actually, let me go push this down to average. Wait, what was... Okay, so we can at least... And so content risk will take it on the average just in case, and our risk will be high. There we go. Pre-book that. Oh. Wait. See, this is what I hate. I mean, we did okay before, right? We'll drop down the average just in case. See, that was a pain. Anyway. We move on to our first actual match for the night, I think. Maybe? Yeah, I think. As in about had terrible wrestling, nonsense, and crowd heat, Gail Kim defeats Angel Foxx in 8:58 pinfall. This gets a 63. Gail Kim gets a 55. Angel Foxx gets a 52. And basically, here, this is back and forth match, but in the end, Gail Kim's able to get the big win over Angel Foxx. And cleanly, because again, heels have to win, cleanly every so often. Not completely. I'm sure she cheated, did some low blows, raked some eyes, took advantage, choked a little bit, but she still gets the win in the end. And then Gail Kim holds up the title for just a moment, then throws it at Angel Foxx. So that, again, sets up at Fall Brawl a three-way singles match for the Women's World title, as we got Lexi James, Gail Kim, and Angel Foxx defending her world title. And there we go. Then we go backstage where Kidman is doing a promo and says that tonight he will begin the fulfillment of his destiny. He's been stuck here so long, wrestling in cruiserweight matches and not being cared about, being stuck in the middle of bullshit with certain yellow skit orange goblins. But now, tonight, he's going to win the gauntlet match, and at Fall Brawl, doesn't matter whether he has to take down RVD, Eddie Guerrero, or yes, even Canyon, because he's the future of WCW and there's nothing they can do about it. And there's nobody in that gauntlet that can do anything about that. 74, strong promo since it's fairly short. And then, in a decent match, Sting and the Hart Legacy of Teddy Hart and Jack Evans defeated Helms and Co. of Shane Helms, Reno, and Cash win 11-14 when Sting pinned Reno. So just back and forth match. Devolves down to a pure 6. But in the end, Sting's able to quick Stinger Splash and then the Scorpion Death Drop on Reno and get the pinfall victory over him. So Jack Evans gets a 62, Teddy Hart gets a 55, Sting gets a 73, Cash gets a 59, Reno gets a 57, and Shane Helms is awesome, so he gets an 84. Sting and Reno were off their games, but still, a 79 for a match is really good for this considering. And then Babyface is celebrating, then Sting points his bat at Helms, and this gets a 65. So again, just builds up, Sting versus Helms for the US title and some other fun stuff. And also, it would be announced during this, because we don't have anywhere else to officially announce it, that at Fall Brawl also, it is going to be Ray, the Giant Killer, going after one more Giant as he takes on Gigantes. Then next up, Vampiro and Morningstar are in ring, and they're like, it matters not who your partners are, Booker and Goldberg. Bring them out, we'll destroy them now, and you'll have nothing left. And so 74, again, this is a straightforward promo, and then Jet and Lynn come out, and yeah, so basically, in a good match, Vampiro and Morningstar drew with Jason Jet and Paul London in 10-20 when the match descended into chaos. So basically, this is just a back and forth. Jet and Lynn do their best to fight back, especially against Morningstar when it's just him in the ring, but Vampiro is a top heel. They're sort of mid-card baby faces, and he sort of trashes them. But at the end, they still fight back, but eventually, Vampiro is just bringing junk into the ring, and the ref officially throws everything out, and, it just, is a no contest. It's a brawl, and then, of course, Booker and Bill Goldberg make the save, and, this is a preview for Fall Brawl, except, of course, Macias and Lestat are both getting ready for the gauntlet, as the announcers put over. So this gets an 84. Basically, Jason Jet was not great. And yeah, Shivani and Hudson rolled a weak announcing role. But still, not bad. And then Styles and Jarrett has a showdown, which gets a friggin' 87. Jarrett calls Styles slapnuts, says, he's just a punk kid who's gotten lucky a couple times. Well, Jarrett is part of one of the greatest WCW tag teams in WCW over the past couple years. And at Fall Brawl, they're going to take their titles back. So first, let's put that in there officially. So and Styles comes out and says, basically says, Jeff, yes, I used to wrestle in front of 150 people, some of them who didn't have all their teeth. But you know what those fans did? They cheered hard as hell for me. And the fans that have cheered me in WCW, as I've teamed with Paris, as we've gotten higher and higher in this company, fought in main events with men we never thought we would, and fought against men we never thought we would. But who's one man we never thought we'd fight, and we didn't because we didn't care about him? You. You've always been, you were born on third basic and you hit a triple, boy. So, tonight I'm going to prove that the future of wrestling in the South begins with me, not you, slap nuts. And then the fight is on. 87, really good promo. I gave Styles some good lines because this was rated well. So going on to the actual match, gets into friggin' 86. And this, don't click and they still got an 86. Jesus Christ. So it about had great heat and good wrestling. Jeff Jarrett defeated AJ Styles in 15:26 by pinfall after using a foreign object. And yes, that was the guitar. So just good solid match, but AJ, Jeff Jarrett cheats to win because he's Jeff Jarrett. And then Jeff Jarrett celebrating gets a 71. So I believe, next up is the Battle Royal, which if it isn't, I'll still go over it. But okay, so basically, it starts out, number 1 and number 2 are, of course, Ric Flair and Alex Wright, so they continue their brawl fight that they've been having forever. At the 1 minute mark, Lestat enters. He helps Ric Flair out, even though they eventually start fighting as well. At the 2 minute mark, Kaz enters, and he, joins the fight, actually going after Alex Wright, so those two start fighting. Flair and Lestat are doing a little shot battle. At the 3 minute mark, Jamie Noble enters, goes after Kaz, but at the 3 minute 3 second mark, Kaz eliminates Jamie Noble real quick, to a pop. 4 minutes, Chuck Palumbo makes his return, because, he's been gone a couple weeks since Macias kicked him around. And at 4:14, unfortunately, Palumbo just comes in house fire and just jungle kicks Kaz out of the ring. At the 5 minute mark, Lance Storm enters. At the 6 minute mark, Jeff Hardy enters. As Jeff Hardy is entering, we see Ric Flair is surprised at, Hardy coming in, and Wright is able to eliminate Flair. So as Wright is celebrating, Lance Storm super kicks Alex Wright and sort of shrugs as Ric Flair holds down the top rope to eliminate Wright, and then they continue to brawl. So that sets up, that match. At the 7 minute mark, Kidman enters and Kidman and Storm start to brawl. At the 8 minute mark, Mike Awesome enters and he immediately helps Kidman, and basically, Kidman hits a low blow. Awesome picks up Storm and throws him through. But then at the 8:33 mark, at the 9 minute mark, Sean O'Haire makes his big return for the first time since basically getting taken out by the Deadpool. And then O'Haire and Palumbo are House of Fire, so at the 9:33 mark, O'Haire and Palumbo eliminate Mike Awesome, so they get their big babyface shine. But then at the 10 minute mark, Macias enters, so it's fight time for them. And so Macias goes after O'Haire, then he goes after Palumbo, then it's 2-on-1. But then other heels involved, including Lestat. Lestat also gets involved, so it's basically a quick mini tag match between the two. Gigantes comes in, but he basically gets all Gigantes, Palumbo, Lestat, Macias all basically go after him. So he basically gets he gets his roar spot, but then he gets hit quick by a huge lariat from O'Haire to take him down for the moment. But that after that's taken care of, then O'Haire, Palumbo, Lestat, Macias basically all go over the top, but O'Haire skins the cat. So O'Haire's able to come in, but basically he immediately gets pulled out, but he gets pulled up to the second rope by Macias. There's a big brawl. O'Haire gets taken down, but Palumbo gets really taken out with a powerbomb on the outside by Macias through the ringside table, which that sort of writes Palumbo out for at least a couple weeks. Then at 12 minute mark, Ray Jr. enters and he immediately goes after Gigantes, who's down, but Gigantes fights back. At the 13 minute mark, which is the final one, the thing counts down and then the sirens hit, and yes, Scott Steiner is back for the first time in months. Scott Steiner just goes completely nuts. Just going after people. Kidman, Wright. Basically Kidman. Did I say Kidman entered? Yeah, Kidman entered. So basically, after Kidman entered, he's basically been being a slimy heel and avoiding any sort of contact. Even though he and Hardy have been fighting off and on, which I did go over Hardy. Yeah, Hardy and Kidman have been having their own little feud, joining in, but eventually just fighting, getting hit, fighting, getting hit. But eventually, Kidman. So it falls down to Kidman and Ray fighting a little bit. Hardy going after Gigantes. Eventually, Ray Jr. takes care of Kidman for the moment, and then at the 14:05 mark, Jeff Hardy and Ray Jr. eliminate Gigantes to a big pop. Steiner at the 14:40, and then after a couple more minutes, Gigantes sort of does a distract. Is going after Helms. Is going after Ray Jr. But Ray Jr. is fighting back, but Helms slips in, hits a super kick, and then Gigantes throws Ray Jr. out. After a couple more minutes, it's as it's down to 4 people, it's Kidman, Hardy, O'Haire, Steiner. Yeah, at this point, it's Kidman, Hardy, Steiner, and O'Haire. So at 17:35 mark, Kidman finally is able to eliminate Hardy. So it's down to a 3, and O'Haire is fighting against, both pro heels, even though Steiner's getting about 50-50 response. O'Haire is able to hit the big Widowmaker on Steiner, but as he gets up, Kidman basically sneaks behind him, at the 18:22 mark and eliminates O'Hare to a big pop heel response, but then immediately Scott Steiner just tosses out Kidman, and there you go. So yeah, big win for Steiner's return. Let's see how it gets rated. 83. Okay, so yeah, not the best thing, but yeah, not the greatest thing ever, but there we go. So yeah, about Survivor Wrestling, Scott Steiner won a Battle Royal in 2015. Other members of the Final Four were Billy Kidman, Jeff Hardy, and Sean O'Hare, with Billy Kidman being the final elimination. So this sets up a couple of things, unofficially, but it'll get really officially set up more like basically on like Saturday night afterwards. So basically, there we go. So we get a 4-way match. Eddie Guerrero, Kanyon, Rob Van Dam, and now Scott Steiner, of all people. And also sort of set up... was there anything officially set up for tonight? No, okay. Everything else is basically like not official yet. Okay. And everything else is already giving me a large boost, so that's all I really need to do. 83, like, not the best match ever, but I sort of, when you put these guys all in one match, in a Battle Royal of all things, you're not expecting, like, a 90. So we finish the show. Show itself gets an 86, which I'm perfectly happy with. And we finish the show with, so let's just see what happened with Raw real quick, and that'll be that, unless there's a random injury. Survey says... I gotta love the loading that happens after a couple of years in one of these. So, okay, Jeff... I thought I already had a catchphrase. Okay. So, Raw. Raw only got an 85. Wow, okay. So we had Kane defeating Leviathan again. Yikes. APA defeated Randy Orton, Jerry Lynn. Chris Jericho and Bum McGraw defeated Kevin Nash and TNA. William Regal defeated Grandmaster Sexy. Kurt Angle defeated Nick Dinsmore by countout. Okay, this is kind of interesting because I set up Nick Dinsmore as a wrestling savant in the game, and that would actually be an interesting way to debut him. The Undertaker defeated Raven, okay, and Shawn Michaels and Steve Austin defeated Triple H and Chris Benoit in a cage match, which got a 99 because of course it did. At least it only got an 85 overall. So Billy Kidman. I wonder why you think Amber O'Neill's okay. That's being mean. And okay, I don't care about Marty Jannetty. But yeah, that's it. So, that's it for now. So we basically, sort of got our, basically, we have our big matches set up, for the pay-per-view. We've got the 4-way match for the number one contender for Havoc. We've got our Fall Brawl. We've got Sting versus Helms for the U.S. title. We've got Mysterio versus Gigantes. We've got 3 for the Women's World title. We've got the Air Raid versus Jared Douglas match for the tag titles. And, of course, other stuff that, unless you're a blind or deaf man, you could see what's being set up as either continuations or new things based on the Gauntlet. So that's it for now. So if you enjoyed this, go ahead and give it a like, comment below what you're enjoying and not enjoying, and subscribe to the channel for lots of TEW 2020 content, including this, my WCW 1993 with no Eric Bischoff series, my MLW 2004 Ruthless Aggression series, Cornelverse series, and of course anything else that pops up. But that's it for now, so talk to you later, and adios.